Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to General Geekery as JD and I go through the Real American Hero line, 1982 to 1994. This year, we are going back in time to 1989, one of my all-time favorite years for G.I. Joe. My picks will probably be pretty cliche. Most of you can probably already guess which two I'm going to pick. JD's? Man, it's anybody's guess. As long as I've known JD, he always surprises me with the ones that he picks. So, let's jump right into 1989.
All right, 89 were my favorite years. Give me your favorite for 89 there.
Stalker version 2.
Ooh.
Um, that was a way to not only update an old character, and one that Stalker hadn't been in stores in years. Although he was ever present in the comic book,
Yes.
they never, he was he was really, I think, the second most heavily used character, but behind Hawk. But the figure itself was such a fresh. It wasn't even an update. It was like they gave us a Tundra Ranger, so he was outfitted for a whole different climate, but he was still military looking. He still had camo pants. He could still operate anywhere in the world, but um,
And that kayak was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and the accessory, the kayak is not only had there not been anything like that in the line, especially included with a on a card like that, but it was just so cool. It gave it a whole other range of missions that he could go on, and you could see him as a solo operator if need be out there with the transportation. Yeah, he's Stalker version 2 is a complete triumph of the way you give a different spin and an update to a character the right way. And there's no doubts that it's Stalker. It's not like where Charbroil said he could have been Blowtorch. There is no other character that Stalker could be. Had they given him a different file name or a different code name, like they did with Charbroil, people still would have been like, no, that's Stalker, and used him that way. So, yeah,
possibly,
he's a clear choice.
I think 89 is one of the best years for figures in general. It's certainly the year of my all-time favorite figure, and that is the Night Viper.
Yeah.
Yep. The green and black color scheme is fantastic. It's realistic. The night vision goggle with the monocle was really awesome. I love the shotgun thing that he came with. I love that it pegged into his back, or I'm sorry, his leg. I love the like sci-fi backpack that he had, and the like cooling system sculpted onto his leg so his suit, basically eliminated his body heat from night vision.
Is that what it was?
That's what I always.
Dynamite. I always thought it was like a dynamite or a bomb that was strapped to his leg.
Who knows what it is? I mean, it's the same thing as the thing that's sculpted on the muskrat's leg. Who really
That's
knows
true.
what it is? But that's what I always thought it was,
like
a coolant system to keep his suit cool so it wouldn't be seen on night vision.
Yeah, I could see that. I never thought about it that way, but one of the things I appreciate about the old Joe line was the amount of detail they put in, and they left stuff that was open to interpretation.
Yeah.
So that kids could use their imagination and just decide that's what it was.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
I love the rifle that he came with that attached to the leg.
Yes.
I love that thing I love that thing so much.
I like the fact that you didn't have to have the monocle on. It still looked like a night vision scope without the monocle, so you could add the monocle to like have it step up in his gear. I like the fact that the gun had a sling on it.
I didn't even know how long I had the monocle for, but I don't think it was all that long. But I like that the peg was sticking out, so I could still pretend that he had the monocle even after I lost it.
Yeah. I love everything about that figure. So give me your second favorite one from that year then. This is a tough year.
Tough. This one's tough because there's a lot of good choices that year.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think my answers changed from kind of over the years with this one because there's a lot of cool figures, but I think God damn it. I think I'm gonna go with fuck. Damn it, you go first. I can't. Damn it. Yeah, go
right.
first.
This is this will come as no surprise to you, I'm sure.
I have to roll dice here.
Is going to be the Alley Viper. Never a real huge fan of the orange and blue color scheme. Of course, growing up as Denver Bronco fan, I saw orange and blue every day, so it really wasn't that big of a deal to me. But these guys, if you read the file card, they're just beasts. I mean, the stuff they got to do to be an Alley Viper, they're beasts.
They're monsters.
Yeah, I love the slide down faceplate. I loved how it looked in the card art. That was the only thing that was disappointing, is that his eyes weren't visible when that thing slid down in front. But I still got over that because I always imagined that it was, like a huge heads up display, that the Cobra logo was just like a big, like, panoramic camera.
I always thought it was supposed to be. I always pretended that it was clear so they could see through it, but like tinted windows on a car.
All
yeah,
right.
that's so.
The backpack, you said that Beachhead's backpack is your favorite backpack from the whole line. The Alley Viper backpack is my favorite backpack from the whole line. I love that grappling gun, the grenade sculpted
Yes.
on the back.
I love that grappling gun on the backpack.
That the weapon, the gun that he came with was fantastic. I love the riot shield. Just everything about that figure was awesome. I love the details sculpted into him. Again, even the orange and blue, it's like you said on the Secto Vipers. It's a weird choice, but it works.
Yeah.
So go ahead and give me your second one then.
Alley Viper. I was trying to decide between Rock and Roll and Alley Viper. I settled on Alley Viper because, well, for one, I still remember finding it in the store at Toys R Us.
Okay.
The first time I saw the 1989 figures, my mother got me. She got me Alley Viper and she got me Snake Eyes.
All right.
The Alley Viper was a badass. I loved the visor. I loved the look of him. I loved the gear was cool.
Yeah.
The card art was cool.
Yeah, card art is phenomenal.
I loved the shield because that thing was a weapon in and of itself.
Yes.
He was a badass. Now, at 40 years old, and being online for 25 years and seeing all the love that the Alley Viper version 1 gets from the online community, I still get it. And it is still a badass figure. The big drawback for me now is the orange and blue.
Yeah.
I am no longer enamored with it like I used to be. I feel like it's one of those figures that is, even people that complain about unrealistic colors, they always dismiss the Alley Viper.
Yes.
And I feel like I feel like that's some kind of emotional tie that people have because otherwise it's a perfect figure. I'm not enamored with it anymore because they've done lots of Alley Viper since then who have different color schemes that I much prefer. I
Pursuit of
did
Cobra,
think
I
it
think,
was
is my favorite one so far.
uh,
The Pursuit of Cobra one is my favorite one so far. The gray.
my my favorite one is one that they did in 2001. It was a repaint, mostly a repaint of the second Alley Viper, but he had this light blue and armor, and then he had gray urban camo. I love that look so much. That is what displaced the orange and blue for me, but it's because it came along at the first time where I was starting to feel tired of the orange and blue. I used to explain it away as well. If they're going into urban environments where there are a lot of lights, there might be a lot of graffiti. There will be a lot of colors on, the cars are colorful, the buildings are colorful, there's billboards. They could still blend in. And I figure they're wearing it. I mean, they can blend in with the general environment of when you think like New York City and shit, where there's
Sure.
lots of stuff going on. But I always thought that the color scheme could be bright because if you saw the Alley Vipers coming, it's already too late for you. Doesn't matter. They don't have to be subtle. In fact, it's a good way of announcing, hey, we're coming to you and we're gonna fuck you up. You're done.
Yeah.
It's just become
Bright things
such a
in nature
cliche to me that
bright things are Mother Nature's way of saying don't touch.
that is also true. You're right. All the deadliest poison animals in the world are all eye-catching, awesome colors. So that's true. So the figure is still amazing. I wish we could see that mold. Um, I wish I'd like to see photoshops of that figure in alternate color schemes, but yeah. So
Yeah, that's my biggest wish is to see the version 1 figure in a camo or a urban camouflage pattern.
yeah,
Even a Firefly camo scheme would be cool.
yes.
Give me your least favorite from this year,
Um,
because there are some stinkers in this year, I think.
yeah. I never liked the Frag Viper. Um, I did like the highlight claw for throwing the grenades. That was cool. I never liked the figure. The body is basically kind of a flat, pukey shade of brown, and he's got this bizarre. The the helmet sculpt was interesting, but it
Yes.
didn't go with the rest of the body, and
Right.
it didn't look to me like another Cobra Trooper. It looked to me like he looked to me like if you put him in black and red, he could have been an Iron Grenadier because he would have fit right in with characters like with figures like the Wild Boar and and the ferrets.
Yeah.
He didn't look like he belonged with Cobra. So yeah.
Well, I guess I think we're up to like 4 now because I'm gonna agree with you on my least favorite is the Frag Viper. I've always wanted to like the Frag Viper for the same reasons. I mean, if you look at that claw, there's a machine gun sculpted into it as well.
Yeah.
So when I that's again one of my favorite customs. Went with I went completely the opposite way with the body and did a very heavily armored one basically. I used the Ultimate Duke figure from as my base figure for that, and then used one of the heads from the conventions figures, and then added a bigger machine gun to his claw. But yeah, I just the color scheme is weird, and the fact that he's wearing like a skin tight bodysuit that it looks like he's sewed into it.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
He's got like stitches on it, and I thought the gear was cool, but I could never, even as a kid, justify asking for it or spending my own money on it just for the gear, which I had done on previous figures and figures since, but I just I couldn't get behind that. Gotta sneeze. Hang on. Maybe. Fuck. Nope. There it goes. Guess not. All right. Give
which
me
means when it comes back, it'll be worse. It'll hurt. Sometimes a sneeze hurts, and that's going to be one.
So give me a hidden gem on that one there.
Absolutely stupid as it's going to sound. I'm going to have to go with Slaughter's Marauder Spirit. Okay, for one, it was the first time in years that I had a Spirit figure.
Okay.
But despite the team that he was with, and look, I loved Sergeant Slaughter. I was a huge fan, and I liked it. He had another new team. I figured maybe the Renegades weren't there anymore. But the color schemes themselves, a little odd. The rest of the team makeup, but I like the Spirit figure because, again, I had lost my Spirit figure years before, and I absolutely dug the shit out of the character. But to me, he also looked more military, and less F troop. Yes, that again.
Yeah.
But it's true. I mean, he just, yeah, I think Slaughter's Marauder Spirit, if you take him outside of the rest of the team, I think he's the only one that stands on his own. Yeah, it's funky camo, but I could see it.
Yeah, if you could take the blue out. I think Mutt would work too, but
I think the blue on that Spirit figure is just something that just doesn't bother me. Where I think it looks really dumb on low light and and even worse on barbecue.
It looks horrible.
Oh, big blue helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it worked on Spirit. So, yeah.
For mine, I'm gonna have to call it a tie between the Annihilator and Target. I absolutely love that they went further with the Iron Grenadiers, and to me these were troops that Destro was holding out on Cobra Commander. It's like, here's okay, I've been selling you all these AK-47s and these Dragunov sniper rifles that's, dime a dozen on the market, but here's suddenly a transorbital assault trooper and a one-man helicopter assault trooper. And Cobra Commander's going like, where the fuck were these guys 2 years ago?
That's a good point. I never considered that. That's funny.
Yeah, it's like, where the Destro has been fucking holding out on me. He's got all this cool tech that he hasn't been selling me. I think I'm not a big fan of the color scheme on the Annihilator, but it's like you said, that with the Frag Viper, if it had been in a different color scheme, it absolutely would have worked as an Iron Grenadier, because he's got that same kind of crisscrossing body motif going on.
Yeah, that's true.
With the gold braids on his chest and the silver holsters on his legs. But I absolutely love that helmet. And same thing with the Target. I love the whole concept, the whole like re-entry. It's not cool enough that we drop these guys out of a plane at 30,000 feet. We drop them suborbital. They re-enter the atmosphere, and then they go fight. So I think that.
Well, and if they happen to go kamikaze and die, well, they're still going to take out a whole lot of crap with them.
Absolutely. I think 88 or 89 is probably one of my favorite years for G.I. Joe. There are some stinkers in that line.
Well,
Like
you also
DJ.
have to hand this. Well, you also have to hand the Target this. The name Target being being short for the Trans-Atmospheric Rapid Global Assault Trooper. Holy shit, that's a mouthful. Whoever wrote that is a genius. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. The whole fact that it was an acronym too. You know, there are some stinkers that year. DJ, Nagahide. You know, this was as cool as some of these figures were. There were definitely some weak points in the line.
I liked Nagahide because I used him as Muskrat. Like he's the Dreadnought's own. Like finally they had a Dreadnought that didn't he could up. I always felt like the Dreadnoughts were fine in the swamp because that's where we always saw them, or we always saw them like in the city. But you could never take a Dreadnought on like a desert mission and actually expect that they weren't going to be, well, all right, it was going to become more of Mad Max than ever. But I felt like, but you weren't going to take them to the jungle at all. But I felt like Nagahide was finally a Dreadnought that could do all of that. He just didn't fit in with the rest of them because he's like,
he wasn't a biker.
I was gonna say, what's with all the punks? But yeah, I could. He had more appeal when I was a kid. Now I kind of like the look of him because I think of him more Craven-ish and less, So, still, yeah, he doesn't have the appeal for me that he used to have. Now, Wild Boar was huge and stupid.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that's 89 for you.
All right, folks, that was 1989. What'd you think of the picks? Probably not a big surprise that I went with Night Viper and Alley Viper, huh? And what'd you think of JD's? How about our least favorite picks? Did you agree with those? Let us know in the comments below what your favorite figures and least favorite figures were for 1989. And how about some hidden gems, ones that other people might have overlooked, but were still really cool? Or is just kind of a cheap and easy way for us to get in another couple favorite figures. Stay tuned because next up is 1990, and that will be up tomorrow.